Thank you, thank you. You're all too kind. Please sit, please sit. Let's bring out our guests. Please welcome Mr. David Hume and John Serrell. Woo! Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Woohoo! Two philosophers in the building. Welcome, welcome. How are you two doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm doing good, Ellen. How about you?
I'm just dancing it up. I'm good. Are you guys ready for me to hit you up for some questions? Woo!
Yeah, I'm totally ready. Bring it on.
To what extent do you believe mind scans are conscious?
I believe the mind is actively engaged, meaning that we all know what we're doing, especially if we are half machine now.
Is there room for error?
There's always room for error because there's no such thing as perfect when it comes to people.
Cyril, how do you feel about this?
Well, with the minds being like computers, we'll be able to learn a lot more, a lot faster, and hopefully we have a program that differs right from wrong, so we actually know what we're doing.
Since we have been talking about the mind scan process, would any of you go through this yourself?
This is a question I've been pondering for some time now. I'm not sure as to whether or not I would want to go through the mind scan process. Let me ask you a question, Ellen. Would you go through the mind scan process?
I was just thinking to myself, I probably was going to be asked that question. I like my life and I love to dance and crack jokes that make people like my audience laugh.
Ha ha ha! You're so funny, Ellen.
I know what I would be giving up if I didn't convert into a mind scan, but I also know that I wouldn't be able to be the exact same person that I am today. I don't know whether or not my mind scan would be a funny person. Therefore, I don't have to answer that question for myself right now, whether or not I want to be uploaded. So John, would you go through the process yourself?
Well, then, I personally would not go through it. I think that a person has to have bodily functions to be human. With that being said, I don't think they could be considered humans. So no, I wouldn't be a mind scan.
Do you think it is ethical to go through the mind scan process? I know John that wouldn't go through the process, and Hume, you're not sure if you would go, but is there any ethical implications that go through your mind?
I agree with them. I think that it is ethical to pursue the mind scan process if that is what the person wants. Yes, not everyone may agree, but there is no law saying a person can't go through the mind scan process. The mind scans will have to accept the fact that not all actual human-bodied persons will want to believe mind scans are persons as well, but our future is not guaranteed. We will never exactly know what's going to happen.
I do not think it's ethical. To be human, you have to have biological components. These mind scans can't have babies. They can't enjoy the simple things in life, like such as a yawn. They're computers now. As we go on, or as they go on being mind scans, they will start losing what is left of actually being human. So I don't know what exactly gonna, after a while they start here.
Okay, let me ask you both another question. Do you think it is right to play God and decide whether technology is incorporated in humans? Also, do you think it is possible to slow down or stop this technology in order to fully examine some of the ethical implications?
I believe that it can be slowed or stopped, but reasons don't cause you to do anything. Having sufficient reason will, but doesn't force you to do that thing. So in any decision situation, we experience a gap between our reasons and our actions.
Mr. Hume?
Knowledge is derived from experience. Since we have little experience with this advanced technology, we really have no knowledge of it. It must be studied further to gain experience. Perhaps simulations, even of uncontrollable robots, can be studied for the experience.
Is it okay if we advance at a fast pace for medical purposes, other than for people just to live on forever?
Well, even if it is for medical purposes, we're still advancing unnaturally, and depending on the procedure, it is a physical property. For example, with digestion, no matter how good a simulation of digestion you build on the computer, it will never really digest anything.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Mr. Hume, do you believe that every class will be able to benefit from Mindscans?
Sure, everyone will be able to benefit from Mindscans. They'll make everyone live forever.
But a question that you might want to ponder is, will this be available for every class? Will it be affordable?
Even when our perceptions of something are interrupted, we still have expectations of what we will perceive later on.
I'm sorry, Hume. I don't think I understand what you're trying to say.
Well, let me explain. The more our expectations are met, the more we believe in the continual, unperceived existence of things. So I believe in society we will be able to accede to that. It makes sure that everyone is able to have the transformation that is the Mindscan.
But Hume, didn't you say, and I quote, there is no guarantee that they will always be same in the future?
But it is based on inductive reasoning.
Sorry, could you explain yourself a little bit more?
It is based on probability. Since we are going towards this direction and having Mindscans already, I'm positive we will have the technology to keep moving forward and make it so that everyone can have the transformation.
Mr. Searle, what do you think on this matter?
Well, I think all classes will become robots, considering that the human mind is already considered to be one of the best computers that we have to offer. And with everyone becoming a Mindscan, I feel like it would become inevitable for the world to just stop or not ride the train to conform with everyone.
Well, for the audience back home, everyone should be thinking about the Mindscan process and how the future would look in a couple of years. Thank you for coming and showing us today your insights. Up next, audience, we have another philosopher, Ray Kurzweil, and from the novel Mindscan, Mindscan Karen. But first, here's the message from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Ellen DeGeneres. Does your dog have the viral disease known as rabies? If so,
you call me Dr. Riza. I have a dog these days that died from rabies, but you can tell it's not spots. But don't worry, it's curable. Sure, I've lost 3 dogs to rabies already in the past month. But there's always hope.
there's always hope.
Always hope.
Again, call the number below.
1-800-555-2069.
Welcome back. Now let's bring on our next guest, Mindscan Karen. Hey! Woo! How are you, Mindscan Karen?
I'm fine, how are you?
We also have Ray Kurzweil on the phone. Ray, are you there?
I'm here, Ellen. How are you doing, Ellen?
I'm doing fine, Ray. How are you?
I'm great, Ellen. Sorry I couldn't be there, but I'm working on a new book.
Maybe in the future you can make it out here to talk to us.
Sounds good!
Mindscan Karen, what do you think about your consciousness?
Well, I think I'm still conscious enough to know what I miss when I'm a regular human, how I like to yawn or even laugh so hard it hurts. So I think we are conscious enough to know to be accountable for our actions.
Our world becoming robots will just show how conscious we really are, since we are robots making robots after a while.
Seeing that you've already been through the process, do you have any regrets?
Well, Ellen, I answered that question. It's an easy one. I would not change going through the Mindscan process. As of all you know already, this version of me, the Mindscan, would not exist. I know that some people may think that I'm not Karen Bersarian, but I am her. The other Karen was older and she knew she was going to die soon and she wanted her body to live on, so she chose the synthetic body. We are still the one and same person, we just have a different body.
Ray, would you go through the Mindscan process?
I personally would go through the Mindscan process. I've been trying to take care of myself so I could make it to 2045, when the singularity would come about. Like Jacob, I too had an inherited disease from my father. I knew at a young age that I could die if I didn't take care of myself.
Earlier I had John Searle and David Hume, and I asked them if they were going through the Mindscan processes feeling ethical. How would you feel about the Mindscan processes being ethical?
Let's face it, we're always improving in our technology, and eventually artificial intelligence will take over. It might not be everyone's desire to have such technology, but people won't be able to stop it. I think that advancing in medical technology can be ethical for everyone.
Like Ray, I think that some people want to live forever, and the only way to do that is to improve technology, so people can go through the Mindscan process. I feel like no one should be forced into going through the Mindscan process, but if someone wants to go through the process, they should be able to.
Do you think that technology will ever be slowed down or actually stopped?
If we were to attempt to slow down or stop this technological advancement, we must do so before artificial intelligences become commonplace. If the AIs grow in numbers, humans could be powerless against them.
Why should it slow down? The human mind is nothing but software running on the hardware of the brain.
Do you think it's okay for medical technology advances?
Absolutely. I believe the medical advancements will keep my generation alive long enough for the exponential growth of technology to intersect and surpass the processing of the human brain. Nanobots will be able to repair any part of the body that wears out.
With the Mindscan process, aches and pains, diseases, and cancers can be kissed goodbye. The bodies are strong and indestructible. Living forever is an added bonus.
Mindscan Karen, what do you think about this? Do you think soon enough that even the lowest classes on the totem pole will be able to afford this?
Well, considering I've already gone through the process, and being a Mindscan, I was an everyday person.
So would you say that you're not an everyday person anymore?
Well, considering I don't have any more food expenses, I'm a machine, I don't eat anymore. I loved eating, and now someone who I can't experience things with anymore. It's just also more efficient. We wouldn't have to worry about people being hungry anymore. And all the money we spend on public welfare could go to helping those who might not be able to afford becoming Mindscans.
And Mr. Kurzweil, we all know your opinion about how robots will end up taking over the world. But do you really think that every class can be able to have Mindscans?
Robots are going to take over. I don't know how we are going to become one, but sure enough, just like illegally downloaded movies, things will be done so people go through this process. Every class will have a chance to become a Mindscan. That's all I have to say about this matter. Toodaloo!
And everybody in the audience, be sure to collect your book, Mindscan, by Robert J. Sawyer. Pick it up at the door while you leave.
Oh, Mindscan! Oh yeah!
And that's it, everybody. I want to thank my guest, Mindscan Karen, and the other three philosophers. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. We have another great guest, but I cannot tell you who it is. Ta-ta!